So hi folks, as part of my attempts at starting to produce video, I'm obtaining some equipment, and this time I'm going to be reviewing this Hipstreet mp3 player. It's not so much a review as opening the package and taking a look at it. I just bought it. The reason I bought this is I used to use this guy here, and I used it for many years, and it was very, very good. I really liked it. Solid feel to it, very heavy, metal, all metal, and a really good control. And best of all, the software inside was intuitive. You could really see how it worked properly and used. But it's broken. So as you can see here, it's falling apart like this. But worse, the switch, you can see it's all worn around it. The switch, when you try to turn it on, it really doesn't work very well anymore. And the battery just doesn't hold the power very much. So I thought it was time to get a new one. I really wanted to get the same thing and go and order it. And I went online and started hunting for this thing. And it's unbelievable. I found one, but the price was over $530. This thing has become an antique. Can you believe that? An antique. Anyways, so I didn't buy it, needless to say. So eventually I looked at all sorts of things to MP3 players to get. What I really need it for is a recorder, because as part of this whole process of recording videos, the idea here is to get creative. And I'm really discovering that I get these ideas that pop into my head. Sometimes I just don't have the time to get to the computer. I'm not even near a computer. And by the time I do get near it, I've forgotten. So I wanted to be able to use a portable recorder, and so I needed an MP3 player that was going to allow me to do that. Unfortunately, I never really found anything that was great. I guess perhaps if I went into the Apple versions of MP3 players, that might work maybe better, but I just don't like them. I shouldn't say I don't like them. I should say I don't want to buy one. I don't like their prices, and I'm sort of a cheap guy. I don't like to spend any money at all. Like this thing here, I've been thinking about this for at least 6 months. 6 months I've been thinking about buying a stupid MP3 player. Anyways, so in the end, where did I get this? I got it at Walmart. So I went to buy it. It was about $40 around there, $37 or something like that. But the real surprise, was when I went to pay for it. The teller says to me, he says, do you want the warranty? It's $5, the 1-year warranty. It's $5 extra. And that sort of left me sort of stunned. I don't know if it's a new policy or if it's something specific to Hipstreet, but you had to pay $5 to get the warranty on it. So I asked him. It just irritated me. What can I say? It's irritating. What do you mean I can't get a warranty on it? So I said, so what you're saying? I said the product could be broken right now and I couldn't return it. And he goes, yes, that's right. So I said, well, why don't we open it up and see if it works, just to be stubborn. So he opened it up, and while he's opening it up, he's saying, well, he says, let's, it might not be charged. He's trying to get some excuse going here. And I thought that was pretty smart, actually, to say that, because you wouldn't expect it to be charged. But guess what? It was. He turned it on. He was able to show it to me. He probably inside was going, thank God it turned on. I could just see it. Anyway, so because I'm a bit irritating as a customer, I'll be the first to say I find objections out of thin air. And I'll just keep at it, I'll just keep asking other questions and nitpicking until I find a place to chunk away at it and find some hole in there. And anyway, so I did buy it. And so it's time to open it up. So let's get at it and get this thing out of here. And well, that's pretty nice, eh? Wonder what it's for, though. Security tab. Can't get away from the security tab. Alright, so let's put that aside. I don't think we need to look at the security tab, though. Although, it's a really nice pattern. I don't know if you can see, but there's sort of a reflectiveness to it. And It's sort of nice. Perhaps the nicest part of the package, really. Anyway, so let's get the stuff out of there. And just the box here with some instructions. To note, by the way, the instructions are in English, in French, and in Spanish. And I can read both English and French. I'm okay in Spanish, but really not that great. But I can tell you that from the French to the English, it doesn't quite say the same thing right here. It's just weird, you know. There's a few parts a little missing there. And I'm not sure why, but I'll suspect, because French is longer, that they couldn't put all the stuff in there, so they just had to cut a little bit out. Anyways, but it had the important information in here that I could record with it. It said recording there, and you know, and that's the thing. It doesn't say it in French. It doesn't say recording. So anyway, so it had me questioning it a little bit. Anyway, so let's look at this documentation real quick. So this is just a standard FCC warning about devices. I don't know that we really want to look at that. I cannot read that, and I'm not pulling out my glasses to read it. But there we go. I see limited warranty, so we know that this is something I don't really need to read. Limited warranty. Actually, I may read this again and come back into the video at some later point just to talk about this, because since the guy says $5 for a 1-year warranty, what's the deal with that? Is their warranty and he was trying to just get me for another $5 here? So, because I know they do that, you know, you go to buy a product, and then what they say is, hey, why don't you get an extra year warranty for $35, you know? And a lot of times what they're doing is they're packaging 2 years of warranty in there that you're paying for, and that's what you're paying for, is 2 years of warranty, but you're already getting 1 year from the product itself, and it's sort of a bit of a rip-off when you're doing that, so I always say no to that stuff. So I will read this, and I'll get back to you guys and see if there's any sort of weird little trick in here. Okay, so I'll put that aside. And, oh, if you need help. Well, that's all right, I guess, if I need help. And we've got a little card here to go like them on Facebook right away. I should do that right now before looking at the package, but I'm not going to. Guess what? All right. Okay, so here's our instructions. Now, before buying these things, I looked at a lot of products on Amazon.com, eBay, anywhere I could find. You know, the source online, went to their site, looked at everything that was out there. I certainly went to the Sansa mp3 player site to see if I could get any more of those or something similar, but what they had now just didn't go for me. I really didn't seem to be what I was looking for. Anyway, so a lot of them talk about these instructions guides not being very good, or you know, they seem to generally have been written in Chinese or something originally, and they hired some guy to translate. Oh yes, I could translate, you know, and it doesn't end up being all that great. But in this case, I've read this a little bit, and it's all right. It seems to be sort of clear, although not the best. I'll be the first to admit. So, but there's some of the questions in here. Like, in fact, one of the comments I read about this product in here was that the guy couldn't get to the menu. And in fact, if you look at the box here, and if you look at the product here, let me take the cover off. Let's get this out of here. And here, we'll take that little image off, put that aside. So if you take a look at the device, it says volume on the bottom and M on the top. And he said, well, you try to get to the menu and you press M, and you don't get there. But in fact, volume is the button that you press. And the way it works is you have to press and hold to access the volume. But if you just click it, then you get to menu. And so it clicks you back to the original menu. And so I think that's what he was talking about. But I found it in the instructions, and it was pretty clear. That's why I'm explaining it to you, because I got it in the instructions. And here, yes, of course, that's a time for me to admit that, no, this is not my original time of opening this box. I don't know if those people who do these videos, this is my first video doing this, and I have to say, I'm not sure if they opened it up before, but I would suspect they do, just to know what they're talking about. It wasn't because I wanted to know what I was talking about. I was just wanting to play with the toy. But anyways, but I thought it might be a really good idea to take a look at this together here and see how it works. So turning it on, that was an issue a little bit, because that one, the switch, you know, this one here, the switch with this guy is a little thing here, and you just push it sideways like this and it turns on. But it seems to go inside there somewhere. I can tell you that because I went digging in there to try to find it. That's what got worn, is that contact inside just became really hard to get at. So instead, these guys have got a nice solid little switch. We'll turn it on and it says starting. We see there's the Hipstreet thing, just comes on up, and there we are right in the main menu screen, I guess. And you'll note, by the way, that you've got two little switches here, one on each side. I guess a switch to click up there, a switch to click at the bottom. Down here you've got your obligatory headphone jack. It comes with headphones. They're right here, and it comes with a little connection to plug into your computer, and that'll act as a charger as well if you plug it in the computer. I think to note here with these, this is an auto off. Here we can see this power saver thing. That's not bad. Something to be said about the length of these cords. It's just not that long. It could be better. I think they're getting cheaper and cheaper with the cords, or maybe it's a package, I think, but I don't think so. I think it's getting cheap. Eventually, you know, it'll be just a tiny little nub, you know, and you have to connect it, and it'll just be sticking off like that. Anyway, so you connect this onto here, and you plug it into your computer, and it connects up to your computer and becomes accessible with your computer instantly. And once you access it, you find inside there that there's some software, which I'll show you in just a second there. Once we get into the workings on it, we'll go look at the screen and see how that's working. So you get the headphones, and like I said, let's see here if I can, oh yeah, there we go. Let me get back here. So let's click on the bottom there. You'll see if I move along like that, what it's doing is it's going across like this and giving me the selections. I was worried that for some reason it'd be difficult to get to the record, but as you can see, it's right there. I hadn't looked at the instructions. I didn't know what to do, but I just figured I'll just press this little middle button and see if it does anything, and there we go. It drops you into a little menu, and it takes no brilliant genius to see that if you click this on one side, it goes that way, and you click it on this side, it goes that way. So you can access your things that you're doing it, and right at the top one, the one you first drop in, that's the recording. So you can just start it, and I figured, well, let's just click that button again and see if it records. So it says, please wait, and I see here a countdown. It says 4, 5, 5, 6, so it's counting. So it's obviously recording with a little red dot telling me it's recording. And I also see that it's saying, and I've got about 35 hours, I think, of recording time. So I think that's plenty for my, if I have 35 hours worth of ideas to record, I'm in trouble, because I'll never get anything done just jotting down all my ideas. Yeah, jotting down the ideas will be the next problem after I start doing this. Oh, okay, well, I don't like that. Stay back on there. Okay, so it's still going. I just clicked that and it didn't change a thing, so that's good. Okay, so by now I've been blabbing and everything, so it's probably done its recording. So let's see. I haven't done anything special. I'm just holding it here. So I'm just going to click it and stop it. It goes on to a stop there mode there. So I believe that to go back, I click this and that brings me back. See, right away it brings me back and it says save recording, and I say yes. Well, don't click on this. You just click on the yes, the little click button there. And there we are. So it saves the recording. So I hope so anyway. So let's get out of there. And now we're back out of it. But okay, I want to go back into the recording. And I'm going to go listen to what I just did. See, there's me getting confused again. Okay, so let's go into it. And yes, that's right. It's the side buttons to go down. And there's the recording library. And we go into there. And yay, I've done a few others before, as you can see. Okay, so now I just brought myself back out, so let's go back in. So there we go. Okay, so now let's go down. Okay, 2, 3. Okay, so let's click on that. Okay. So there's a tiny little speaker here, and it's playing. I don't know if you can pick this up, but Here, I'm gonna bring this up to. I guess you can hear it. I don't know about you, but I can sort of hear it. I mean, I guess if I was just sitting here listening, but what I can hear is some sounds of my hands on the device. So the microphone, which I believe, by the way, there's the speaker, and there's the microphone right there. So, and I can hear some distortions. I can pick up what he's saying there, what I'm saying, and there's distortion in the voice. So it picked up my voice very loudly. So that was good. I had no problems picking up my voice, but it's probably also picking up me holding this. So I suspect that when I'm doing recording, I might want to put it down like this and just talk normally like that, and it'll probably do it just all right. All right, so that's good. Okay, so, and I had no real problem here apart from forgetting which buttons to press. I had no real problems to access anything or get anywhere. It's I don't seem to have any problems figuring it out. Anyway, so let's do that, and that pauses it. Mind you, there's not a luxury of controls on this thing, but hey, I'm not looking for that. It's $40, and there was 8 gig, by the way, and I haven't put any memory card in here, so 8 gig is just fine for me. You know, and who knows, I might end up using it as MP3 player. I do like music and stuff like that, but I think that more likely this is going to be very useful to letting me record what I wanted to say, my little ideas and things like that. And I think that's going to be really helpful because so far I jump and come to here to the computer, and it's not as good as I'd like. So let's take a quick look at the headphones. I haven't done that yet. The headphones are a big deal, I guess, because you want something that's going to last. Like headphones with this. This is old. I've used this for many years. Like I say, it's really solid. It doesn't, like I cracked it here a long time ago, but it's a really solid little device. And the headphones with this I'm still using, and they're on my laptop over there, and they're still just as good as the first day I got them in. It's not the same with dollar store headphones, you know. You ever taken a dollar store headphone apart? I have. The wire inside is absolutely hilarious. I mean, excuse me, the way the wire works inside the dollar store headphones is you have one wire. Now, by one wire, I mean it's a thin strand of copper that is way thinner than hair. It is a thin strand. And it is just one of them, and it just goes down through that wire. It is unbelievably thin. I don't know. It has to be machines that put that stuff together, because there's just no way that human hands can control that. Certainly not my thick, meaty fingers. And you just imagine trying to get that in there. You know, it would just be ridiculous. You'd have to use these tools. And anyway, forget. I'm not even going to start talking about that nonsense. Okay, so just plug that in there like that, and just for the fun of it, you know, it's sort of like, you know, those people who go to the restaurant and listen to order some food to eat. May as well see if I can do that here. Is this still on? Yes, it's still on right here. So I'm just going to turn it on and see how it sounds in here. It sounds good, folks. Yes, it sounds good. Yeah, I could hear it very clearly. One thing, though, it seems to come in only from one side, so I guess that's sort of like a mono recording of some sort. Well, that makes sense, just a mono microphone. I guess we're not going to get the luxury of stereo recording with this little thing. But it's doing what I want it to do. Okay, for this part. So I guess for the next part, I want to go look at how it works inside. And so what we're going to do is I'm just going to set myself up for that. So I'm just going to pause all this, and then we'll see where we go. Okay, so just a second here. So as you can see, as soon as I plugged it in, up came the folder, and we've got here the Hipstreet. We can see the device right here, and it seems to be totally accessible. We don't seem to have any problems at all going into everything in here. Sometimes you just can't access some of the files, or for whatever reason, but here it's all here. And I notice that it says software, And if we open that up, it says Media Monkey here. And Media Monkey, I already know, is a free software that you can use to upload your music easily to your MP3 player. So I'm going to take that at some point and install it on my computer and connect up and put in my music, may as well, into it, and that way I'll be able to take out my notes if I want to, although probably my notes I'm just going to listen to them as dictation, really, and just jot down the ideas when I'm here at my computer. I think that's probably the likeliest idea. There's also a user manual here, which is great. Probably this is just a quick start guide. I think that's what it said here. Yeah, just a little quick start guide. So realistically, this one here is probably, although no, it says quick start guide, so it says the same thing. I don't think it's going to be any longer than that. I also see something here dealing with video conversion, and there is a tool, media player utilities, some type of a tool to, and a Windows installer I can see there. You see there's the Windows installer package and set up. So I guess you can install this, and then you'll be able to put videos in here, which is another thing, by the way. I find MP3 players these days, you can just put music in, and that's all you can do. Whereas this one here that I bought actually allows you to put in a video, and you can play it small screen. But I've used the small screen on this thing here, and I've watched movies on this in the train and whatnot, and I don't have any problems with that. Though this one, I have to say, that was the one weakness this thing had. So when you transferred a movie from whatever file you had into here, the sound would start off okay, but as the movie went on, the sound would gradually get right off. It would slowly get more and more distant to the lip movements, and eventually it just you know, you'd be about 10-15 seconds off by the end of the movie. So, like, you know, you get pow, 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 and then the people are just sitting there, and then you'd see all this action and no noise to it. It really, at some point, you know, I can handle about, I guess, 5 seconds of displacement, you know, and I can connect the images that I saw and hold them in my memory. But once it gets to 10 seconds, I mean, let's be honest, I guess I wouldn't be a good chess player or something, but realistically, anyways. So anyways, back to this here. So I guess we've got everything in here. We can see ebook. The ebook says text only, so I haven't tried that, so I don't know what it's going to be like. But the record, there's my record files, and let's see if I can't just turn
please
that on
wait
and listen to it.
And
No,
I see here a countdown. It says 4, 5, 5, 6. So it's counting. So it's obviously recording with a little red dot telling me it's recording.
Yeah, it's
and I also see
excellent.
that it's saying, and I've got about
So
35 hours,
well.
I think, of recording time.
Any problems with that? So I was able to access my file that I recorded just like that. I didn't have any transfer problems or anything. Just plug it in. It's charging while it's plugged in, and there you go. And it says the charge is pretty long lasting on this thing in the little manual. So I think I'm going to be pretty satisfied with that for the uses I'm going to put it to. I don't know if somebody would be really demanding of a small MP3 player, but for me, I think this is going to be sufficient. Quite acceptable. Anyway, so I guess that's it. I'm just going to cut off here, and I'm going to go read the warranty, and I'll get back to you in a second and see what that has to say, just for the fun of it, just to find out. So give me a couple of moments here, and I'll be back to you. So I'm back. I've got it. I've read the warranty, and guess what? It's covered for a year. I don't know where this comes from. I really don't. But okay, so I read the thing. Actually, I've got an idea. So I read the whole thing, the part that matters here. And what it says is that it's covered for defective parts and warranty in the first year. And all you have to do is to ship it to them, which is going to cost you probably more than $30. But anyways, you ship it to them. And if and it says it really, you know, if they find that there's damage to it, then they'll replace it. And blah, 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 blah. So there's the mystery then. So why did the guy ask me for $5 for the first year warranty? saying that there's no warranty on it, and I think that then that's untrue. That wasn't true what he was saying. So I'm going to say that he's mistaken. I think that he did not have a full understanding of what he was supposed to say. That's my guess. You guys might have experience with this, and you probably know, but I think that it was exactly what I was talking about earlier on. When you have a warranty, they toss you an extra warranty package. Hey, do you want a 2nd-year warranty on this product? For $5 or whatever, and I think that that's what that was. But he didn't know. He didn't know that exactly, so he said just for the 1st year, and it really is supposed to be said for the 2nd year or for 2 years. An extended warranty. That's the word to it. And anyways, I'm not going to say much about that here. You guys can say what you want about extended warranties. We'll have a talk in some other video about that. Anyways, I guess that's it for my review of the 8 gig mp3 player from Hipstreet. I think it's going to be a good product for me, and I'm going to be very happy to use it for its purpose. And I'll update you at some point later on how this whole recording thing has worked for me, because I guess that's going to be the real test, is am I going to start using it? Am I going to remember to carry it with me? I think that's going to be the real challenge. But I guess I'll have to get used to it. Well, folks, I guess that's it for my review of the Hipstreet MP3 player. I want to thank you for watching and bearing through the 30 minutes almost of video that we did. But I think it will end up being informative. Keep an eye out for my other videos, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. That's always appreciated when you do that. And we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.